March 7th.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's the wrong agenda. My apologies. The February 21st. Selectmen's meeting to order. Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I have some announcements to make. Bear with me for just a second. Okay, I would announce that we signed a manifest dated January 23rd, January 31st, 2017, in the amount of $1,025,143.31.
That's for later. That's other. You're talking about non-public.
These are announcements.
Right, for the,
At
under
the
other. Okay, sorry.
I appreciate how you're trying to be efficient.
I'm trying to
Getting
move right
right to-
along.
But we have some chiefs
In
here. that
non-public, we had, we covered two issues. One was the fact that Justin Kane has earned his paramedic license, and effective on 2/27/17, he will move to grade 15, step 6, by unanimous vote of the board. And we granted an elderly exemption this evening in non-public. The computer will. I was just going to say, Mr. Bell, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I would move that the board just came out of a non-public meeting under RSA 91A3 2A through C, and I would move that we keep everything that was discussed confidential until, in the opinion of the majority of the board, the circumstances no longer apply.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Moving right along to minutes, public and non-public. Can I have a motion?
Motion to accept the Selectmen's public meeting minutes dated January 16th, 2017 as written.
Second. Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Make a motion to accept the Selectmen's public bond hearing minutes dated January 16, 2017, as written.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
I'll move to accept the Selectmen's public budget and warrant article minutes from January 16th, 2017.
Second?
Larry.
I know.
Pick one.
Okay.
Mr. Donovan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item D.
Since we're on meeting minutes, I would like to make a motion to amend the December 20th minutes. There is a section where I am referred to as Chairman Gonyer. I would like to have that changed to Selectman Gonyer.
Second.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Scheduled business. Police special details. Rates.
Evening, Board. Police Chief, thank you guys for your time tonight. I had started looking a few months ago, back end of December, start of January, at the town's current rate for our outside details. The outside detail is something that's paid for by the vendor. It's not paid for by the town. Currently, we charge an officer rate, a cruiser rate, and a town administrative rate. I'd like to increase that, and the reason for it is the July 1st, 2017, will be an increase through the state that includes workers' comp, New Hampshire retirement, Social Security, Medicare. That all goes into that. By increasing the rate, that would help offset the town's portion. Right now, we're currently, for the officer's rate, we're at $38 an hour. The cruiser rate is $12 an hour. The town administrative rate is $12 an hour as well, giving you a total of $62. On the sheets that you guys have in front of you, the proposed would be $40 for the officer's rate, $14 for a cruiser rate, $14 for the town administrative rate, giving us $68 hourly. That increase keeps us remotely within the same money as the other towns around us are charging. We're not the highest, we're not the lowest. Keeping it at $68 an hour, I'm trying not to outprice us, that the vendors don't want to use us for details. But that increase would offset some of the costs that we have that are associated with retirement. So my recommendation would be for the increase for that.
So, silly question, we don't think any of the companies that use us will be severely
No, I don't think so.
turned off?
What I did was I took an overall rate of all the towns that are around us in Rockingham County, and I did a comparison to what they were charging to what we were charging. And we're at $68 at the new rate, proposed rate of $68. We're still within that ballpark. We're less than some of our area competitors, area towns. There are many that are much higher than what we are. I think that this rate would keep us good for the next, good amount of time anyway. We haven't increased in several years.
So we're talking like $6 more an hour, so they probably won't have too much heartburn about doing that.
No.
Is there a motion?
So I move to accept the new proposed detail rates.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. I don't think I have any further business.
Are those rates posted
Up
on
on the
the
state.
website?
Just crowd control.
Chief, I don't know if you just heard Jim's question. Do we commonly advertise these on websites or?
So rates?
Yeah.
No, typically not. What I would do at this point is I would draft up a letter to each one of the companies that we typically use, Unitil, Verizon, and I'll send them a change effective this date that our rates have changed.
Just wanted to make sure that the information got out there.
Yep, no, I'll send out a letter to all the companies tomorrow, and I'll CC the board on the final, make sure that no one has any issues with it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item next, and that is item B. That's a memorandum of understanding with Trinity EMS. This is an issue that the Board of Selectmen took up several weeks ago. I, along with Captain Kane, went over and spoke to some other chiefs regarding this, and this is, I believe, what Trinity is proposing as an addendum or memorandum of understanding attached to the contract.
Good evening. From my understanding, that was the fire chiefs that was making that proposal, bringing it forward with the agreement and understanding with Trinity. And after the last email that went back and forth last week, the only town that hasn't agreed to it is the town of Newton. All the other departments are in favor of it. Are in favor of it. Newton's the only one. And the reason for Newton, the other departments, the fire chiefs, sign the contract. In Newton, the fire chief does not sign contracts, so it has to go in front of the board, and due to personal things that have happened to the family in the past couple of weeks, and the snowstorms, it's been delayed. What this will do is, in my opinion, this will take care of any and all concerns or questions that the fire department had or the Board of Selectmen had when we met that time to discuss Trinity's contract without physically touching the contract. This would give the language an amendment, you could say, to the contract.
So what we have is a copy of one that has already been signed by the other branch?
To the best of my knowledge, yes. For the board to vote and approve it, and for the chairman to sign it, or have the board vote to approve it and have the fire chief sign it. I prefer the chairman to sign it, but however it's done. But to sign that, then the board technically, I believe, since the board in non-public made a decision to change line 2 and line 8, I believe it was, the board would have to make a motion to rescind what they voted on originally, to change the language of those 2 paragraphs and accept this.
Or the board can just accept
This
as being satisfying the spirit of that request.
Exactly, which it does.
So I'll make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding with Trinity EMS as written.
And now second with the friendly amendment and for the chairman to sign.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. I should explain to the people that are watching, this specifically gives language that allows Newton to transport any patients, if their condition warrants a quicker transport than would be effected by Trinity EMS based on their reported ETA to the scene. It gives our emergency people the right to be able to say, no, we can't wait 15, 20 minutes, this person needs to move. Very good. In that case, we'll move along to item next. And that is the contract with I'm trying to see if there's anything else here for the...
Looks like G&H maybe?
I believe that's Selectmen 4th.
There's another one here.
He has one more, K.
Oh. Yes, K. The request from the fire department for a Crown Victoria vehicle.
Once again, good evening. The reason the fire department is asking for the Crown Vic, there are several members that are doing, forgive me, I have a cold, for one, that are doing continued education. So when they go into school, they're using the Tahoe. So they're putting excessive miles on the Tahoe. They're training Tuesdays, Thursdays, and some weekends. So that leaves the chief without a vehicle Tuesdays, Thursdays, and some weekends. Sean Kane, which is just for the board to be aware, he just completed, I think, has another week or two, and he is a certified pro board firefighter 1 and 2. He's the individual the board agreed to send to Massachusetts. So he's been using the car to go back and forth to Stowe, Mass. We have Lieutenant Dupree and firefighter Jim Ryan that is starting this Thursday. I believe it's in Portsmouth for the next 3 months, going back and forth Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I believe it's either Saturdays or Sundays to go get firefighter 2. So what the vehicle will do is the town owns the vehicle. There is no cost in the vehicle other than putting a radio in the vehicle. The fire department already has the lights and the rest of the equipment that has to go into it. And what it'll do is it'll take the wear and tear out of the 2013 Tahoe. That's the only reason we're asking for the vehicle.
Where did we get the Crown Vic?
One of the PD vehicles.
The old car.
What would happen, I know we're talking about the Crown Vic, but register the Crown Vic, just so the board's aware, and the board has to make a decision at another time what they want to do with the old ambulance. It's been de-leaded. The new ambulance, the state came down today, signed off and approved the new ambulance, and within 5 minutes of her walking out the door, the inspector, we had an ALS call, so we went immediately to work within 5 minutes. The game plan, as the board approves it, is to take the plates off the old ambulance and just transfer them onto the Crown Vic. And then the board would have to decide what they'd like to do with the old ambulance.
The old Crown Vic used to be at the PD. Is this one of the ones he was talking about recently trading in or selling? So he was doing that because they were pretty much of no use. So what's the profile of it? I mean, how many miles on this car? Does it run? Are we going to have to put some money into it in a month or two?
It's a shame we did have the police chief
The
here.
chief
I
left.
know, yeah, he just left.
When I talked to the chief in regards to it, he had said that the two Chevrolets, one had a transmission problem, and one had, I believe, a head gasket problem. He said the only thing with the Crown Vic was that it needed a back seat. That was it, because it had the cage in it for the K9. That he took the blue lights out of it, the radios out of it, and he took the rear seat, which was the cage. And that was it. I would think that if there was an issue with the Crown Vic, he would have mentioned that there was an issue with the Crown Vic like he did the two Chevrolets.
I understand the Crown Victoria is a serviceable vehicle. It just, because of the way the town has used it, it has very little aftermarket value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not too many people are going to bid on a car that has no back seat. And may smell
You want
slightly
to
like
dump that for like $100 for a dog on it.
Right.
What we were told, again, I have not, which I apologize, haven't been around going back and forth to Massachusetts. It was explained to me that the rear seat to the vehicle might even be somewhere on one of the town properties. If not, Randy Brow, I believe is the name of it, they have one for $75, which is the seat belts and everything, and you just pop it in. Either myself or somebody from the fire department. We would not be sending it out to be put in. We would not send it out.
See if you can get them down to 70. 75 to 70. I'm good with this plan. I don't know if we need any sort of motion here.
yes.
Turn it over.
Right, yes.
That's what yeah, I didn't hear anything about reassignment, but I don't remember doing it, so.
Well, for
Well, that's the
inventory
best way of
purposes
describing what would happen.
and insurance, yeah.
So I move to reassign the Crown Victoria that had the cage for that seat over from the police department to the fire department for their use.
Second.
Very good. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
When the fire department's done, we'll come back and we'll give it back to the town. So the town the only thing the board has to do, once again, you have the 92 and 93, the ambulance, the old one is sitting on Merrimack Road. Whatever the board wants to do with it.
Craigslist or send it to the auction? Either that or Craigslist, we can sell it straight out, like we did with my Crown Vic.
Where are we going to,
That Craigslist?
Didn't that go through the auction? I'm not sure.
No, somebody from town bought it. Remember?
is there a
Oh,
fee for
we
the auction?
we did the sale.
We did the
Yeah,
sale.
we did the sale.
Because I'd like to see us take the most lucrative and cheapest option, might be Craigslist.
Yeah, we did that with the flotation thing at the beach and everything
Right,
last
yeah.
year or the year
Auction,
before.
You're not gonna get nothing.
Yeah.
Private sale, you probably get.
It had, the old ambulance had the radio removed off it last week and the decals that say Newton on it. Still says fire and rescue, but it does not say Newton anywhere on it.
Actually, we went out to seal bids on that
Sealed bids.
on that stuff.
Yep,
'Cause
Yep.
The highest bid was 850 for
yep,
the car.
you're right, yep.
So we did sealed bids the last time.
Yeah, we had a bunch of things.
So I'd move that we go to a sealed bid process to sell the old ambulance.
Still put it on Craigslist, but you list it as a sealed bid and send it to the town. Now we just need to come up with a date. We give them like 2 weeks to respond, or
It's going to take us a little time to get things
3 weeks,
prepared.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Diane's going to put it on the website like we always do, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just, on Craigslist, you can link to the website and people will.
Yes.
Might I suggest that, we sell it by sealed bids, but let's not decide exactly when yet, because we should send around a notice to the police department and the other departments to see if anybody else has stuff so that we can,
Yeah, try and
Advertise
do
it
a
all at
bunch
once.
of stuff, yeah,
Yeah,
like we did.
28
about that time of year, yeah.
yeah.
Spring cleaning.
for the first one in April.
The only other quick thing I have is, as the board knows, we're gonna take the plates off it. Does the board want it to stay inside the building on Merrimack Road, or put it outside with the Hummers on Merrimack Road?
I think so,
leave
we're
it
going
in
to
the
sell
The
it.
room.
That's fine.
It's not inconvenient being
It doesn't belong to the fire department anymore, it belongs to the board of selectmen. So I just wanna make sure where you want your vehicle.
Okay.
Nope, it's fine,
Diane, I'm retracting my motion.
it's fine.
You have to
sorry.
say that loud enough for the record.
My motion that I made for in regards to the ambulance, I'd like to strike it. And we'll wait until,
We've had a chance to notify all departments.
yeah, I'd like,
So you don't want to go to sealed bid?
no,
Not at this
not
time.
at this point. What I'd like
So you
to
need to
do, and this is not a motion, but I'd like to have the town administrator work with the selectmen's secretary to come up with a list of items we may want to put in some sort of auction. And the first one will be the old ambulance.
I thought you said a tablet.
Actually, usually in auctions, the really fancy thing goes at the end of the auction.
Okay, so it won't be that.
You gotta bury the lead.
We're not
Thank you,
doing
Chief. I
auction
don't believe
now,
there's
we're doing
anything
sealed
else.
bid.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I believe that's it for you, Chief.
I thank you all for your time.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Okay, we're going
better.
back to item C. That is contract with the independent contractor, tax collector, PDF.
property searches. This is the typical contract to perform property searches for the tax collector.
Correct.
And we just need to move to sign the contract with Sanders Searchers.
Is that a motion?
It is a motion.
Well, you do, wait, don't you need the dollar amount and stuff in there?
All right, hold on. We are signing the contract. Actually, no, because it's per. There is a contract cap. So,
All right, I just want to make sure.
Sign the contract with a contract cap of $462.07.
Now, a second.
Very good. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Moving along to the review and signing possibly of the policy JLMC.
Joint Loss Management Committee.
Yes. You open it, the yellow, what is in yellow is the additional language.
Yes.
And I apologize, I'm Can we have a motion discussion?
So I move to accept the amendment of the safety policies for first aid.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item E, the reappointment of Mary P. Marshall to the Stewardship Committee. Her present.
I spoke with Mary, and she would like to have her appointment reappointed.
I move to appoint Mary Marshall to the Stewardship Committee
An appointment that expires.
until April 2020.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Start date out, do we need a start date?
It's a reappointment, so it should take, she's actually, so it should
Present
take
one
effect right away.
expires on the 30th of April.
Okay?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item F, letter to the bookkeeper regarding the cable franchise fees for the fourth quarter of 2016 in the amount of $25,552.44. Can we have a motion to sign?
There's a letter, the one that I
It's a letter
normally
to
do.
the treasurer telling him how to distribute.
Right.
The
Make a motion for the
incoming
board
money.
to sign a letter to the bookkeeper regarding the cable franchise fee for the fourth quarter in 2016 in the amount of $25,552.44.
Second.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Moving along, approval of grant for safety equipment in the amount of $6,000.
So it's a grant that we applied for, actually like 3 weeks ago. We already got approved for it. Safety equipment for the police and fire in regards to, it's called the EMS Warm Zone Grant, and it's 100% funded by the state and allows the department to purchase equipment in a tactical aspect, which would be the bulletproof vest, the helmets, and some EMS gear. We already have the list, the fire worked with the police department to get the list together on what they wanted to order. That list went to the state with the help of Nancy and Diane. We sent it out last Friday, and we're just waiting for final approval from the state to go out and do the purchase. So the town would purchase it for $6,000. We would send the state the invoice, and we'd get the $6,000 back. It's 100% funded by them.
So we need a motion to approve purchasing up to $6,000 worth of
Tactical equipment,
tactical equipment.
once we get the approval from the state. Well, actually, you need approval to accept the grant, the safety equipment grant, in the amount of $6,000.
We still need to extend it.
Right.
So we still need the motion to
Accept
Accept
and
and
extend.
expend.
So we're going to extend before we accept.
No, we have to make sure we're getting the money. They have to
Right.
do the final approval
We sent the
first.
state the list of what we're purchasing.
Right.
They just have to finalize it, and then they're gonna send it back to us, say, okay, go ahead and purchase.
So they're going to approve it, we'll purchase it, and then they'll reimburse us.
Correct.
Yes.
So I would move to accept and extend the Homeland Security grant of $6,000 for tactical equipment. Once approved.
There you
by
go.
the state.
Perfect.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Now, when we get the money back, does it go back to where the money was taken from, or does it go into the town?
No.
Well, Kim takes it from.
Kim, I think Kim sets up an in-out item. She'll show it as a grant, but it'll be paid out and come in the same, so it'll be a wash.
It doesn't come out of any budget.
But a lot of times it comes in and it goes right to the reserve fund, or whatever we call it there.
Yeah, no, I don't believe we do it that way. I think it's, in-out item. We have to show it and account for it, but it won't come out of the operating budget.
No, I'm not saying coming out of the operating budget, but I'm just saying, normally when we get money back from different areas, it goes into the...
Revolving fund?
No, not the revolving
It
fund.
goes into the general fund.
The general fund.
Yeah, that's the, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, yeah, that's probably where it'll get deposited, and then it'll get paid out of there. But it doesn't affect the operating budget.
Okay.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Good job to the grant writer.
Yes, thank you, Larry.
So number H is, I need another approval for $13,533.45, and this is for the AED grant. This one runs differently now, so for $13,500, just leave it even numbers, that's going to give us 17 new AEDs.
Nice.
One for each town building, which would be the library, the fire, the police, the transfer station, and town hall. Would be fixed units on the wall, and the other 11 are going to be mobile for the 6 cruisers and 5 for the fire department. How this grant works is it's a 50-50, so I'm going to round it off to 14. So the state's going to kick in 7, the town kicks in 7. Out of our 7,000, we're allowed to train the employees at $25 an hour. So if we have 40 employees, and it's $25 for 2-hour course, so it's $50 per employee, times how many employees we get trained comes off of our 7,000. It's a soft match. So if we can, out of our 7,000, knock off 3,500 by training everybody into using the new AEDs, we would, our cost for 17 AEDs would be 3,500.
Wow, nice.
Now the reason we have to come up with now is the 3,500, how does that get divided among everyone who's receiving the AEDs? We had a conversation where we take 10% out of general funds, or we just hit each department up for what they receive. So town hall would pay for 1, library 1, transfer station 1. PD would have to take 6 out of his budget, and fire department would take 5 out of his budget. I didn't break it down yet, but it's probably $400, you know, maybe.
Per unit?
Yeah.
Per unit?
Per unit. I mean, depends on how many people we get trained and how much we can knock off that
Right.
7,000. It's going to be the final cost per unit.
I just don't think we should tell the PD here, we're giving you 6, now give us the money. It's not like we're giving these guys an option, we're throwing them at them and saying, now you have to pay for them. I just don't think that's fair.
Well, it was discussed with him how many he needed, so he knew.
And if they come for
6.
training, that takes quite a bit off anyway.
So getting more officers trained on it will help reduce those costs as well.
Right.
But I do think it's the same as the radios and anything else. They need the AEDs in the prison, needed in the police station, needed in the library, and then have them maybe taken off the walls because they were outdated and were not reliable to stay on the walls. So they're being replaced. It should not be a surprise to the police department or the fire department or the library department because all 3 departments have representatives on the joint loss committee, and it was discussed in that committee.
Oh, it's been going on for a year now.
Exactly.
We told everybody, and of course we didn't follow through it during budget time, to put in $500 for an AED in your budget, but we didn't follow through, and nobody did. But I don't think it's be a big cost factor for any one department.
So the overall, if everybody goes for training, would be about 3,500?
It's $50 a person.
Okay.
How many people we get, how many town employees
Okay.
we have.
Okay.
How many are going to come out and want to volunteer their time to go to training? Because you can't take the $50 and then pay the person to be there.
Right, right. They have to
That's
do it without
I'd
being
get in
paid.
big trouble.
Well, if you do it at night, you're gonna get a lot more employees, like myself would go. I can't take time out of work.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. We plan on having like 2 or 3 classes, some at night, some on Saturday morning, because we do have like a large amount of employees. The question is the employee willing to donate their 2 hours
Yeah, not get paid
and
for
not
it.
get paid?
Right.
Because it wouldn't make sense to pay somebody $40 to sit in a class so that we're only going to gain $10 out of it.
Right, right.
You know?
Would we have donuts and coffee? That would,
If you
that would
like.
seal the deal.
But I mean, whatever department doesn't
How about
participate in
fruit
the
and
volunteer
cheese?
would have to pay cash out of their budget for their AEDs. That's all.
I think it sounds like everybody's on board.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna surprise department heads.
Absolutely not. I mean, you're getting 17 brand-new units
Right.
with the pads, with the batteries, with the whole 9 yards.
Residents or, even anonymous, I mean, we have used to come into one of our buildings or we need them.
So we should all be trained.
And we should, I need to know how to use it to administer it.
Yeah.
Won't do us any good to have them if we don't know how to use it.
It also makes sense for all 5 of us to take the training just in case we're in the building and
Exactly.
Like I said, donuts and coffee.
If something happened on 14th, we're all in the building.
Right. And right now, we don't have one.
Okay, is there any further discussion? I believe Ms. Gagne made the motion.
So again, we're waiting for the final approval on that. I just want to bring it up for you guys to accept it once the state says we can move forward with it.
So would you accept it when you get the approval from the state, or do
If
you
they
want to?
accept it tonight, then I don't have to come back to the board when the
Pending
state
the-
says, okay, we're
pending the
good.
state.
then
Yep, okay.
I would order them. Again,
Okay,
we
but-
would have to pay the $13,533 up front and then get the 7 back. And I'll work with Kim on where we're gonna get
Yeah,
those
yeah.
funds from.
So I move to accept and expend, 13,533.45 for an AED grant upon approval.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Item I, to accept the removal from the Selectmen's Handbook, the anti-bullying harassment policy due to duplication with the joint loss management policies, which have already been accepted by the board.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item J, 2017 Selectmen's Meeting Schedule. This is a motion to adopt.
But I'm waiting for it to come up here.
A slow opener.
I guess.
You gotta pick it.
And this is the same first and third, right?
Yes.
And then obviously on the fly, we can change some things if we want to meet less in the summer.
I think, yeah, you have one meeting in July.
Oh, okay. I see that, yep.
So I'll make a motion to accept the 2017 Selectmen's Meeting schedule.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. K has been covered. L, review of grounds and maintenance bids for town buildings and Greenie Park.
So just to update you, when we did the last 2, Matt had suggested we get other quotes. So I sent out probably another 12 letters. We got 2 actual bids back. And they've been contacting us, asking if we know yet whether or not they got the bid, because they're trying to plan their schedule for the spring. So I don't know how much. Diane did a great job on this, so she can probably answer most of your questions, but
So I'm just looking at the sheet, and I think I have to shrink it so I can read it better. But so where our RFP was for 2 years.
Yes, was for 2 years.
Okay. So we're the ones who said 2 years, because what I'm wondering is, and I'm thinking out loud here, but maybe whoever we go with, we want to see if we can get a 1-year deal with them, because they're going to be new. They might be new. They might be new, and after a year, if we don't like them, it'll be easier to get out. So I'm just
Well,
saying
I
that
would
out.
think that, I don't know if their numbers will change then.
right. I mean, that's
So, I mean, you're getting late,
a
this is
risk.
already March, basically,
right.
so you're gonna,
Right.
And actually, looking at these, With the exception of one, they're all one-year bids.
Well, the only one that has like that is this T&M property maintenance. They gave you for each year.
Right.
The others give you, that's the price for the 2 years.
Oh, okay, it's the same price for both years.
Yes.
So, I notice, okay, so the yellow highlights is for the whole
That'd
bid.
be 2 years, yeah.
2 years.
2 years
Correct.
for that one vendor.
Correct.
Any history to offer on these? Like, did we get them as a recommendation from another town hall?
Some of them I did. There was Kingston, I think, East Kingston, Plastow. And some of them didn't want to bid, or some of them, might have bid. But what happens is a lot of them, they do like True Green does the fertilizing and all of that, and then they hire somebody, subcontract somebody to do the mowing.
Okay. There was no, as I recall, there was no change to the RFP, right? Since last go around.
I don't think so.
Still clippings getting picked up.
Yeah, I think that was still in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't change when I got it, so.
right.
The ones where they mentioned True Green would be doing the weed control and fertilizing. That is part of the price. We don't have to go and get a separate
That's
contract.
correct, it's part of the price.
Right. And if you had any questions, there's only 2 new bids. You could always meet with both of them and just clarify with them, or ask Diane to clarify, which she's probably already done. But whatever your concerns are, we can make sure.
I just want to make sure that whatever was on our bid is going to be done.
Exactly.
That was the issue last time.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to say this, see if others would agree with me. I want to take T&M out of consideration purely for the fact that they did not do and freely admitted that they did not do what was in the contract. I also think with Great Horizons is a little excessive at 31,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that
leaves 2 bids.
is it 2?
Yeah.
It's 2.
D&J,
okay.
Yeah. Those were the 2 old bids,
Granite
and
Coast.
then there's 2 new.
Granite Coast.
Now the thing, D&J does not use True Green.
Correct.
Looks like Granite Coast does.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to consider.
I mean, to me too, I also consider it an in-state or out-of-state company.
And in-state, out-of-state is something to consider. But the True Green, the self-seeding is in Massachusetts.
Yeah, but if you look at the Bradford company, the thing that's apt to increase our costs would be if they were mowing above and beyond the 22 or 13 per ton.
65 an hour?
No, no, that's the irrigation. I'm thinking about the 350 versus 400, and then the 50 versus 100. for the granite post is actually higher on the mow.
I mean, I'm leaning towards seeing if we can go back to the two of them and seeing what it would cost for 1 year.
And if they'd be interested.
If they'd be interested for 1 year. Not saying that we're not going to do it if they're only
Why 1 year?
want a 2 year, but what a 1 year would look like.
See how they do.
Without being locked in for 2 years. So that if the first year they do a good job,
So, okay.
now, what about 1 year with the option to renew for another year
Yeah, that's okay.
as a condition?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we want, but I highly doubt they'd have any issue with giving us that option.
Now, the spring cleanup, did they break that down, what that consists of?
No, because you didn't break it down in your RFP. Spring cleanup, I would assume, is pick up all the sticks and, clean the whole area up.
They're gonna charge $400 just to walk around this town hall and pick up a couple pieces of paper. There's no grass, really.
Oh, rocks,
Or
sticks,
leaves, huh?
Leaves,
rock sticks, clean it all out around the building, get all the
Clean all
leaves
the
that are stuck in the
all the
corners. and-
sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of sand. I mean, I would move right now to ask Granite Coast if they would agree to a 1 year contract for the property maintenance, and if they take that, sign it on the dotted line, because like we said earlier, March is coming up. So I guess where the period is in my motion is I would move to ask Granite Coast for a 1 year contract for landscaping. And if they agree to remain within the same price range, so essentially half of what the 2 year is, then I say we go with it.
That price isn't for the 2 years.
2 years, that's the price per year.
Right, okay, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm worried about is them turning around and saying, oh, you're only doing 1 year, now it's $30,000. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah,
worried about.
okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Want to second that?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll figure it out.
Aye.
That's unanimous, begrudgingly. Okay. Next item.
And do you want this to go back on the next agenda, or?
I think what I meant with my motion is sign, if it's 27 and we can get it on a 1 year deal,
Okay,
sign away.
okay,
That's what I understood.
right.
I'm just,
He's
my
only
motion
bringing
was for
one
Granite,
Granite,
the Epping one. In the interest of keeping our tax dollars in the state.
That's always a good idea. Okay, item next. Cable station manager job description approval. You have here a listing of all of the varied and intense work done by the cable station manager. And we need to approve this in order to look for a replacement.
So Diane, did you write this up for us?
I think I did a long time ago. Pretty much I believe I went through it, and yes, this is pretty much what we've done. What I have done.
Is there a motion to approve?
I would move to approve.
You already did. This, you asked to see the job description. This is what's in
okay.
place right now, right?
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any diacritical marks showing me that there had been changes in it. I just,
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We want to remove the use hands to finger and handle and feel objects or controls reach within. We took that out of the
Personnel,
form.
the evaluation form.
Yeah, this has no business being.
So if I can call a timeout here for a minute, okay, and this is not so much about this, but about things in general. Why are we looking at this right now? Just refresh my memory.
Because Diane has stepped down as station manager
Okay.
because she can't get paid for that and do the,
Okay, that's what I thought.
and the board asked to see what the job
Okay,
description
this
was.
is my short-term memory here, but, so, what I would suggest is, and this is for the board, when we look at things like this, rather than reading it real time in a meeting and go over and yelling out changes, then what should happen is one person from the board or two or whatever should kind of take it offline, make the changes, then present the changes, and, marked up. Microsoft Word does markup or whatever, and then we can give small little changes to make the most effective use of time, because right now I'm reading this cold because my computer didn't work at home.
you have a policy committee that can review this if you wish.
Yeah, exactly, and not so much the policy committee. It could be somebody who it's, they're the liaison or it's close to their heart or whatever. But I guess what I'm saying is there anybody who wants to take this and we can look at it after they've made the changes? Lisa?
See, it's really simple. I'll take it and I'll just remove the whole physical exertion one and send it back to you guys and say, this is what I propose.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Works for me.
And do you want to try and advertise for a station manager?
I think that's where we're going, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
once we get this done.
Yeah.
So I will take it, I will do more thorough review, just make sure there's nothing else quirky, then I will submit it to the rest of the board for review and approval at our next meeting.
Sounds good.
Right? Okay.
Works for me.
Very good. In that case, moving right along to just a discussion of the withdrawal of the warrant article for the rental property ordinance. I have no idea. I know that the building department was...
Oh, that was a long time ago when the building inspector was here, and he
Right.
was working on the, which one was he working on?
that was the rental property ordinance that would require inspections and
yeah,
all that.
because we haven't met, this was going to be a warrant article, but he found out that there was more research and stuff that he had to do, so he was gonna let the board know that we're not gonna do it this year. So it's,
Targeting next year, though?
yeah, I think so, yeah.
That, even then, it might be risky because the law that he was citing was a law regarding housing authority,
Yes, yes.
and Newton definitely does not want to create a housing authority in town.
So my suggestion would be for Diane to send the building inspector back an email or whatever saying, okay, the board realizes it's not this year, but they would like to know if you're planning on it for next year.
And somehow have a reminder or something on the calendar that right around, November or something, we have to knock on his door again because things happen in
Yeah.
October.
And Diane can put that in the email to him, just saying that, the board would like to see this on next year's warrant or something like that.
I wouldn't be quite that enthusiastic, but
Well, it's, yeah, I mean, it's the fire department too that's all requesting this, and he was working on it, so, right?
Yep.
Okay.
okay, item O per RSA 31:95-B, to accept and expend unanticipated funds in the amount of $200 from Kathleen Barnes of Newton, New Hampshire to the Newton Food Pantry.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion other than please send Ms. Barnes actually, does Tina send thank yous?
She does, yes, yep.
In that case, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item P per RSA 31:95-B to accept and expend unanticipated funds in the amount of $1,130.04 from the New England Clothes and Recycling to the Newton Food Pantry.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item Q per RSA 31:95-E to accept a donated Dell PC monitor and keyboard for use as a backup for the EMS from Amy Heinel. I'm not certain of the pronunciation. I apologize if I just brutalized your name. Of New Hampshire.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item R, the acceptance of the resignation of Crystal DeHart.
I move to accept the resignation of Crystal DeHart from the Zoning Board of Appeals with our thanks for her service.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Announcements. I will announce that the board previously signed manifest dated January 31st, 2017 in the amount of $1,025,143.31. The board also, these were all occurred because of snow days. They were not done specifically at meetings. The board signed a manifest dated February 7th, 2017 in the amount of $70,019.36. The board has signed a payroll manifest for the pay period of January 8th, 2017 to January 21st, 2017 with a pay date of January 26th, 2017. And the board signed a payroll manifest for the pay period the 22nd of January 2017 to the 4th of February 2017 with a pay date of the 9th of February 2017.
A motion to sign the welfare voucher in the amount of $301.57.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Motion to sign a welfare voucher for the amount of $1,000.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to sign a cable franchise letter and authorize the payment of $15,331.46 to the Newton Cable Revolving Fund.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye. Motion to sign and approve veterans credit for PID 4-6-3-10 in the amount of $500.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in
Is there
favor?
a date on that?
Not on here.
I think it's for this year. Okay,
Yes, it's for 2017.
okay, thank you.
I have no dates on mine either.
Did we vote on that one?
I'm looking at the...
I don't think we
I don't think we voted on it. We did
all
the
those,
first.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
I would move to approve tax abatement for property ID number 4-6-3-10 in the amount of $238.09 as recommended by Town Assessor Andrea Louie.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would move to approve tax abatement for property ID number 4-6-3-10 in the amount of $585.17 as recommended by Town Assessor Andrea Louie.
Second.
Just out of curiosity, I noticed it's the same property. These are two different types of abatements.
No, that's a type on my part.
Announce it as normal.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I thought it was odd that one property was getting two abatements.
It should be in the
It's in the folder, Jim.
folder.
Which one are we talking about?
There were two.
Do I sign that voucher?
We need to make sure which one is for property ID 4-6-3-10 and which one is not. But for the amount of $585.17 and $239.09, those are the two amounts.
So with the correction on the property ID number, I'll keep the same motion.
Okay, I believe I have this one right.
You got a second, yeah?
It has been seconded, okay. 8:15.
Jim, just look at the abatement and see the map number and the dollar amount.
Well, that's on, that was 238.
Right in the middle, right in the almost the top. It's in bold.
I know, that's not the right one.
Well, read that one and then we'll know what the other one is.
This one is map 8, block 3, 11-19.
Okay.
Which amount?
And what's the dollar amount?
$235.
Are we looking for the one that I said?
That's not one of the ones with...
46310, okay, here. 46310, that is one is a refund.
The veterans credit.
And one is
But what's the dollar amount?
$500.
Okay, so that's the 585.
the abatement was $578.14. That was a
585.17.
But he's not reading the same amount that we have on here.
Right. On the paper here, it's for $500.
Don't go by Diane's, that one's wrong. Look at the actual abatement.
the second one on the list. The second for 46310. The 585.17 is this number. That's this one right here. Can you need those papers back?
Which ones? These?
Sorry about that. In order.
No, that's good. There is a veterans and an abatement for the same people.
That's different.
Right.
They're two different things.
Right.
Okay, one is a veterans credit and
Yep.
one is an abatement.
All right, and what's the map number for the abatement?
Excuse me?
What is the abatement number, the
The
amount?
abatement number is
You know what happened? They changed spots and they let him out of order. That's what I'm getting.
I just had it in front of me.
You were doing so good.
It was the $517. Oh, no, sorry, it's right here. $585.17 is the abatement. That's a credit to be applied.
And what's the map number on that one?
That one is 46310.
All right, no change to my motion, and I have a second.
There's three different things with the same map number.
We just need to look at the
There should be two.
23809.
Yes.
So can we get this one
Yes.
over with?
Yes.
Can we call for a vote here?
Yeah, one's an abatement. The other one is a,
Veterans.
right, it's a permanent application for property tax
All right.
Yeah, Jim, we
exemption.
just need,
All in favor?
and then we can go.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Now,
That's unanimous.
can you find the abatement for 23809?
So you can strike my original motion on that one.
Veteran credit. That's an abatement which is refund with the money down here, and that's an
The sheet
abatement.
is wrong.
Just find the abatement
Just
form
look at the
for
abatement.
23809.
Okay, I have the abatement form, I have the abatement refund, And now let me find the other.
It's not gonna be for this property ID, but it'll be for the amount of $238.09.
That's for, no, if you have the same number.
That's what I'm looking for. By the way, we need to get some new stickers. They're falling off. Okay, that's the abatement. That is that. Okay, here's the, I have all three. That is the, one is a notice of abatement refund, one is a veterans credit, and one is having the fact that it reflected a portion of the second floor area as being finished space when in fact it was not finished.
We need to know the map number and the dollar amount.
They're all the same map number.
They're not all the same map number. On Diane's sheet they are, but the actual abatements are different.
Can I move to delay these to the next meeting when we can get them organized?
Yeah, because quite honestly, this one doesn't have a map number on it. Can you find it?
46310.
Right, 46310. This is 46310. But notice the address.
No, it's for 500. Okay,
Right.
So we're good with that.
And this is the other one. Notice the address.
This is what we're looking for, the 238.
36, okay.
So it's map 8, block
3, 11, 9, 19.
That's what we're looking for. 238.
So I move to approve the tax abatement for property ID number 8-3-11-19 in the amount of $238.09.
Thank you.
As recommended by town.
Is there a second?
I already seconded it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
So I think I'm all right with my
Find out
third
which
one.
ones we're doing.
Approved tax abatement for property ID number 4-5-25 in the amount of $71.92 as recommended by tax collector Mary Jo McCullough.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye. I move
Unanimous.
to approve tax abatement for property ID number 9-3-12 in the amount of $115.60 as recommended by tax collector Mary Jo McCullough.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Make a motion to sign a manifest dated February 20th, 2017. In the amount of $1,057,288.90.
Second for discussion.
Very good.
I'd just like to point out that within the manifest is a check for $900,074,796 to the Sanborn Regional School District.
Very good. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Make a motion to sign manifest of pay period 2/5/17 to 2/18/17 with pay date of 2/23/17.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to send a letter from the town clerk tax collector, Mary Jo McCullough, requesting the Board of Selectmen issue a warrant order to the Newton Police Department authorizing the issuance of civil forfeiture notices to owners of unlicensed dogs.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
I move to approve and sign requisition number 2536 in the amount of $12,987.00 for the Laytronics Ultra Nexus, which was approved on December 1st, 2015, as part of the equipment upgrade,
Second.
as part of the cable equipment upgrade.
Any-
to come from the cable revolving fund.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve and sign requisition 2649 in the amount of $1,000 for snow shooting at New England Sports Park in Prairie, Mass. Have fun while we still have snow.
Is there a second?
Second.
We didn't get the invoice for that,
Is
right?
there any further
There's
discussion?
no invoice yet.
No invoice yet?
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
We're waiting for the board to approve, because we're essentially, we already had some, and we're expanding because there's more interest. So we want to make sure the board was okay.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything further to come before us?
Jim? We have an appointment,
Appointment, I'm gonna
Oh,
excuse myself.
not a dentist appointment.
Yeah. Put this with the pile. I could go potty.
Yes, I have before me an appointment for one Lawrence B. Foote to continue as the Emergency Management Director for the town for the next 3 years. Can I have a motion?
No, so moved.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say that Larry has been doing a great job these last few years at the UMD, and I would love to continue having him do the work, especially with the grants.
Thank you, and I have to add my appreciation also. I've been working with the EMG since I got on the board, and Mr. Foote has proven very knowledgeable and very helpful in securing certifications. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Anything further to come before the board?
I have one thing. So, before you leave, this will be quick, Larry. I heard it third and fourth hand, and now I'm hearing it more clear, but I understand our normal Meet the Candidates night that the Cable Committee hosts has not been scheduled.
That is correct.
Okay. I would like to, if the Cable Committee does not want to host the Meet the Candidates night, I think as a Board of Selectmen, we should host a Meet the Candidates night. I think that people in the town have already been asking me when it's going to take place. People really kind of look towards us to put something like this on. If we look at the calendar, we're running out of time, so I know that the students at Sanborn are hosting something March 8th, so I wouldn't want to do it that day or even that week. I'd like to do it, if we look at the calendar, next Thursday night, and I know that we have 2 candidates here right now, so we can at least start with them and ask them if they're available next Thursday night. I think we should. As was pointed out, in town, we only have 1 contested race, technically 2, I guess, contested races. I think we should open it up to all candidates, including the town and the school district. I would say if you're running uncontested, it's not going to bother us if you don't show up, because it's going to take names off the agenda. I would also want to encourage people who are proponents of a warrant article to come and take 60 seconds, stand up, and talk in favor of a warrant.
It's going to be a question and answer.
If you remember the one we did for the election in November, we asked each candidate to stand up, take about 2 minutes on the clock, introduce themselves, why they're running. Anybody has any questions, they ask right then and there. It's not email questions ahead of time. Then they sit down, we go to the next candidate. If we do that, I think we can get out of here in a relatively quick amount of time.
If one candidate for school board is asked a question, that same question will be asked of every person.
Not necessarily. Person has to get up again and do it. Or the person has to raise their hand and say, can you answer the same question I just asked? What I want to avoid is, I know the first year I ran, we had a lot of people up here. 2 of my friends here were up there, and everybody got asked the same question. By the time it got to you, you forgot what the question was, and we were here 3.5 hours. So what I saw, people can correct me if I'm wrong, what I saw when we did it in November was it went by much faster.
I like that 2-minute bio and open up the questions.
Exactly, and people have to ask the questions if they're standing there, the moderator, if he wants to throw in a question. Yeah.
So the person who just gave the 2-minute spiel will be the one to ask the question and answer.
Yeah.
Then the next person would come up, give their 2-minute spiel, and then get asked questions.
Right.
You can get asked a different question instead of the same question.
Right,
Exactly.
you get asked different questions.
If you're the same resident, you want to ask it again, it's up to you, basically.
Right, because you can ask questions on the person's 2-minute bio, so
Yeah.
could be different. But I've also been asked the same thing by townspeople. They don't even know who half the signs are out there, and they're wondering why we didn't have a meet the candidates night so they know who to vote for.
And then we have a video, hopefully we have somebody to videotape it, we put it on the web, people like to access it, and they're at their leisure.
So can the cable tape it but not be the sponsor? Could the board?
Whatever they want to do, I think, is good with us.
We don't have
They
enough
only have
members
2 people right now.
To do what?
anything.
Anything.
So you're going to need a moderator, you're going to need somebody to send out letters to the candidates.
Well, here's what I propose to the board, is moderator, if we need a moderator, I can do it. We could always ask the actual moderator. I think through the selectman's office, we don't send letters. We know who these candidates are. We can get their contact info. We can actually call them or whatever we need to do. Or Facebook them, whatever.
We
Whatever.
don't do Facebook, but you guys can do that.
Or we can inform them Saturday down the transfer station.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be rocket science. We just have to get it out there. We're picking a date and time right now. Some people aren't going to be able to make it, and that's just kind of the way it is. The calendar is such. But I'm not worried about those items as much as I'm worried about that you have somebody to videotape it. I know that's a challenge sometimes. So.
I don't know. I can go back and ask them.
Right, exactly. That's all you can do. So.
What time? March 1st, you said?
Is it March 1st?
Next
Yeah.
Thursday is March 1st.
Thursday?
Oh, March 2nd? Sorry.
Open on Thursday nights, right?
Right.
Okay.
I kind of like starting at 6:30 because
Gives more people a chance to get here.
Yeah.
Especially those who like work in Boston or whatever. 6:30 is a good time.
but I'll help wherever.
So you're going to be the moderator?
Pencil me in for right now unless we get somebody else.
Okay.
I have no problem doing it. I'm just
Okay.
saying that you
Matt
might
will
want to have
moderate.
somebody who's less engaged in the Board of Selectmen do this. You know. And that's all it is. It's not like, it's not,
I think, what you're saying, somebody else, I think Bill Landy does a great
yeah,
job.
somebody like that.
We've asked him, he doesn't want to do it, so. But you're right,
Charges
we're
a
only
lot.
introducing the candidate, and then it's up to the public.
Yeah.
And I think Matt did a wonderful job.
I do too.
Thank you. Checks in the mail. But the,
Okay, we're digressing. Can we leave it in the
Yeah,
capable hands of the,
yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. I'll start tomorrow morning. I'll get verbiage out there to advertise it, and I assume is Diane going to work on this with me?
If we need to make calls or whatever, Diane could probably do that.
So
As Board of Selectmen?
Select-
correct, yeah.
Right.
Okay, not
So-
as cable.
Not as cable.
Correct. Wearing your selectman secretary hat, if you call me tomorrow, I'll work with you. We'll get a list of who needs to get contacted, and I'll help with writing stuff up, and we'll be good to go. Yes. Perfect.
anything further to come before the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a
Motion to close the public meeting at 8:23 PM.
There's a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous.